So today at Bargello /A-GoGo, I'm going to be showing you how to prep your canvas ready to turn it into a cushion. And the first thing you may want to do is, if you've sewn your canvas with the Bargello embroidery, you may find that it has become slightly misshapen after you've worked the stitches, either by having it folded up in your project bag when you've put it away in between working on it, and you can reshape the canvas by blocking it. All you need to do is simply pin the canvas to an ironing board, making sure to straighten out the stitched area so that it can be realigned correctly, and then you need to just lightly dampen the canvas with water, either by spraying it or using the steam option on your iron, which is the option I tend to do, on a cool setting, because you want to make sure you don't press the iron onto the actual stitches, otherwise it will flatten them. So just gently steaming it over is a good option to do, and then just allow it to dry naturally before removing the canvas from the ironing board, and then you'll find it's a lot straighter. On these canvases I do, it tends to be enough of a border that you can then trim down when you go to turn the canvas into your finished project. So what I recommend is, on this, for turning it into a cushion, is that you cut the canvas to around 1.5 centimetres each side of this canvas, so you've got sufficient there for when you're sewing it onto your fabric backing for the cushion. So all I'd recommend, after you've cut out the 1.5 centimetre border around the edge of your finished canvas, is to stay stitch the edging of your canvas using a sewing machine. Now what you'll need for that is some thread. This is just 100% polyester thread that can be used in the sewing machine. That's absolutely fine for this particular project and this type of canvas. And I'm just using this green shade here, and I've also done the bobbin that the machine will require as well in the same shade. And the reason I've mainly done it in this shade is because the backing I'm going to be doing for making my cushion is going to be in this sort of green colour. So it makes sense to me to put the stay stitching in the same shade too. And you're also going to need a presser foot, just the normal standard one that comes with your machine. So this particular one here is actually designed for a Bernina sewing machine that I use for my projects, and it's just the #1 standard presser foot that you'll need to do your stay stitching. So I've got my machine now prepped with the threads for the bobbin and the top that I need to sew the stay stitch in. So it would be 0 for the stitch width and around 3 for the stitch length, because you're working through a slightly thicker fabric with the stitches that you're going to be sewing on. So I tend to sew the canvas right side up, and what you need to do is sew roughly 0.5 centimetre in from the edge of the stitches for the stay stitching. So you're just basically putting a stitch around these edges here just to stay stitch them, to keep them in place, so when you start sewing these don't unravel and they're secure with this stitch you're going to do on the machine. So like I said, on this presser foot here, about 0.5 centimetre is at this edge, and then we're working in the middle here. So I'm just going to do a couple of stitches forward, and then on my machine I'm just going to reverse stitch it a couple of stitches just to secure them, and then I'm just going to sew along like so. Across here. And what you'll do is you'll continue to do that round every edge of the canvas. And then when I get to the edge here, I'm just manually going to put it to roughly where I think it's 0.5 centimetre, and I'm just going to turn the canvas, lift the presser foot, pop it back down so it's still on the edge here, and continue to sew along. And then you just repeat for the other 2 edges of this. So this has now been stay stitched along all the edges, around 1/2 centimetre in. I'll show you a bit of the yellow stitch in here just so you can see the green stitches there, and that's all the way round all these sides, and that's how it looks on the back once they've all been done. So the edge of this canvas is now nice and secure, ready for you to turn it into a cushion. Thank you for watching this video, and if you'd like to see any more videos on Bargello embroidery techniques and what I do, please feel free to subscribe by clicking on the button at the bottom of the video, and in the description I've given a link to this particular canvas that you can make yourself into a cushion with all the materials to make the actual canvas. So thank you for watching.